Hello, and welcome to the Child Care Deserts Grants Final Expense Reports walkthrough video. In this video, we will walk you through how to complete your final expense report for the Child Care Deserts Grant 1 for new programs and the Child Care Deserts Grant 2 for existing providers. All expenses must be documented carefully, and programs must retain all receipts for 5 years and be able to provide them upon request by the Office of Children and Family Services, OCFS. If you do not report the full use of funds for the Child Care Deserts Grant for new programs or the Child Care Deserts Grant for existing providers, all unreported funds must be returned to OCFS. If you have questions about this report, please contact your child care resource and referral agency at ocfs.ny.gov/programs/childcare/referral-agencies.php. If you have questions about eligible expenses and record keeping, please visit the Child Care Deserts websites. Now we are going to go over the steps to complete your Child Care Deserts final expense report. The steps to complete the final expense report are the same for the Child Care Deserts Grant for new programs and the Child Care Deserts Grant for existing providers. First, log in to the New York State OCFS Grants portal at childcare-grants.ocfs.ny.gov. Then, on the Grant Opportunities homepage, locate the Child Care Deserts grant you would like to complete an expense report for and select the Apply/Review button. On the Provider Verification page, select the Choose an Existing Application drop-down menu and then select your program. When you are ready to proceed, select the Next button. To open your Child Care Deserts final expense report, under Submitted Applications, find Child Care Deserts Grant 1 or Child Care Deserts Grant 2. Find the Actions section on the right and select the D1 Final Expense Report link or D2 Final Expense Report link. After thoroughly reading the instructions, answer the question, are you currently open and providing care to children? If you choose one of the Yes options or No, temporarily closed, select the Next button. If you choose No, permanently closed, you must answer the follow-up questions before selecting the Next button. In the final expense reporting step, you will need to answer questions about how funds were spent. If you have questions about allowable expenses for either grant, please review the appropriate list of allowable expenses. To enter expenses for a category, select the drop-down arrow and then the Edit link. Then enter in the new expense and the required descriptions for expenses and records. Lastly, select the Save button. Complete these steps for all necessary expense categories. A summary of expenses will display at the bottom of the page. Your total expenses cannot exceed the sum of paid disbursement. If your total expenses exceed your sum of paid disbursement, you will receive a warning message. If you have not reported on the full use of funds issued to your program, all remaining funds must be returned to OCFS. If you have additional funds to report on, you can do so by editing your expenses. When you are ready to proceed to the next step, select the Next button. This is the final expense report for the Child Care Deserts 1 or 2 grant, and all remaining funds must be returned to OCFS. If you do not report on the full use of funds issued to your program, you will be brought to the Acknowledgement page. On the Acknowledgement page, you will see the following 2 response options. Option 1. I agree that my program did not fully use the grant award, and I agree to continue with the submission of the expense reports. I understand that all unspent funds must be returned to OCFS. Option 2. I do not agree and wish to return to the previous expense reporting page. Choose the appropriate response and select Next to continue. The last step for completing your final expense report is certifications and attestations. Read each attestation carefully and select the corresponding checkbox to affirm your understanding and compliance for the grant. When you are ready to submit your expense report, select the Submit button. Once your expense report is submitted, a confirmation will appear confirming the report has been successfully submitted. Thank you for viewing the Child Care Desert's final expense report video. If you have questions about this report, please contact your Child Care Resource and Referral Agency or visit the Child Care Desert's websites.